Hi everyone, and welcome back to another flashlight review. Today I'm going to be looking at the Wuben L50. This is a light that's very easily found on Amazon. I was curious to try out this light, and especially just due to some of its features like this smooth reflector. I've used it for about a week now, so I think I'll be able to give you a good rundown on what it's capable of. So let's firstly start by what's included in the box. Obviously you get the light itself, and it comes with a battery. So it's got an 18650 battery. That O-ring at the end is very chunky. Once you get to the end of unscrewing that, screwing that flashlight in, it gets a little bit, there's a bit of resistance at the end, but I think that just creates a stronger seal. You can see here you've got the included Wuben cell. It's the Wuben ABE 2600, so 2600 milliamp cell, and it's got a protection circuit as well, which is reassuring. So it fits directly in there, and screw it back on. Okay, it does take other 18650 cells as well, as long as it makes contact with the spring at the end. Okay, but it's a nice little simple flashlight. Okay, and it's got a tail switch design there as well. I think it's very efficient, especially with this P9 emitter, and it's much more throwier, especially than some of Wuben's other options. Definitely like this more than the C3 due to the extra range that you get. It's also got a very simple UI. I'll show you how that's what that looks like. I'll show you what the UI looks like a little bit later, and it's great for EDC use. Easily pocketable as well. I mean, it's an 18650 light. You've got this simple clip here on the end, and I like the rigidity of the clip as well. It's got a bit of give in there, but it feels strong, like it's not just going to get loose in your pocket or end up somewhere else. So fantastic build. Now, if we look at the overall construction of the light, you can see it's quite well constructed for a light of this price range. You know, simple tube design. There's nothing special about the overall design, but it gets the job done. The anodizing has got a slightly glossy black look to it, as you can see. And like I mentioned before, we've got that P9 LED, P9 emitter there. It's got deep, smooth reflector. If you want a light to throw, especially at this size, you need a deeper reflector. Glass bezel with AR, anti-reflective coating, and the bezel is quite simple, just joins onto the body. It looks like you can unscrew it, but there's some kind of thread lock there. Wuben don't allow you to get into the light just due to the warranty that this comes with. If you register this light online, when you receive it, you'll get a 5-year registered warranty from Wuben. So if there's any damage, you know, any issues that come up during course of this light, you can get it replaced. Battery also comes with a 1-year warranty. I think it's really great value considering the price of this light. So you can tell Wuben are confident with the performance and the construction of even their lower priced range. So this is everything that you get with the light. This is a micro USB charging cable here. Okay, you get a lanyard, and you also get a couple of spare O-rings. And in terms of the light's operation, you can see back here underneath this rubber gasket, you've got the charging port here, the USB, micro USB port just underneath there. Okay, and that just sort of seals it so that you don't get any water. And of course, here is the switch on the back. It is not, in my opinion, a tactical switch. So basically, in order to use the flashlight, turn it on. I've got it set in the highest sort of mode before, but you half press the button. Okay, so you go from this mode, 2, 3, 4. So sort of 4 modes. So I guess moonlight, low, medium, high. Okay, back to low again. If you double tap, you get into this SOS mode. Okay, like that, and tap again, it goes back to the other mode. Okay, but that's it. Let's take a quick look at the performance of this flashlight. So I've got a quick little ceiling balance test here. I've got the light to the L50 on the highest mode. You can see it holds 100% of its lumens up until the 1 minute mark, where it drops down to about 1.5 minutes to nearly 60% of its output, and just holds. I've tried to turn the light off, turn it back on again, and you can see that it just follows that same performance curve. Okay, it doesn't appear to have maybe a temperature regulation module in there. It looks like it's a timer because, you know, that second and third, the third turbo reactivation, you can see I've reactivated the turbo almost straight away after the second one, and it's given you the same amount of time. But I think the light can handle it very well. Didn't feel really hot to the touch, just a little bit warm even after those 3 turbo reactivations, and that's thanks to the P9 emitter. You know, I think it's very efficient, and yeah, it just runs a lot colder than a lot of my other emitters. These are just some measurements that I took with my Opal Light Master Pro. I only took it on turbo, and you can see here 230 meters. Really impressive for such a small flashlight like this. I mean, it's just due to this reflector, deep reflector. I mean, if you de-dome this P9 or even get some other de-domed LED in there, I think this thing would throw quite significantly. But with that P9, just amazing how much throw you're able to get out of this light. CCT 6781K, so yeah, more on the cooler end, and color rendering index, nothing special there, 72.3. So a bunch of considerations that you might want to be aware of. This light has micro USB charging, and I would have liked to see USB-C. You know, many budget lights do have that functionality already. Would be good to see Wuben upgrade that at some point, but at the end of the day, works fine, and it's relatively lower capacity battery as well, so it's not going to take you too long to charge that up. Another thing to keep in mind is the battery mode takes 3 seconds to store the last mode. So you activate that light, you know, say like that, turn it off, you need to count 1, 2, 3, turn it on, and then it remembers. You know, I'm used to having lights that remember the last mode in about 1 second, so that I can turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, and it activates again. But with that amount of time, it actually changes modes when you switch that flashlight back on. So something to keep in mind. I think it's absolutely fine for like normal EDC use, but you know, if you need something that's more, yeah, tending towards tactical, you need that light to be on at a moment's notice, to be on that highest mode. You know, this thing's probably going to change modes halfway. So another thing is the battery. It's got a 2600 milliamp hour cell in there. For the P9, the 2600 milliamp hour cell is fine, but I would have liked to see, you know, a 3000 plus milliamp hour battery in there. I think one thing Wuben can do to add some additional functionality onto maybe the next version of this flashlight is to add some kind of momentary shortcut turbo button where you can half press that button on the back. You know, there's no function there when you half press that it just completes the circuit and goes onto the high mode. You know, I've seen some lights that have 2 buttons, you know, one button down the front where you adjust the mode, and that one there just switches it on the momentary, or activates that full mode that's controlled by the front button. That might be something to consider if Wuben wants to make this a more dedicated tactical flashlight. But overall, for what you pay, you get a throwy, bright EDC light with onboard charging and a battery included. So I recommend it if you're looking for a cheap and easy light, reliable light that you can pocket or just store around the house, put into your glove box. I really like the simplicity of the design and the UI, something that you can easily just slip into your pocket. So if you're interested in this light, I've left the link in the description. Go ahead and check it out. If you have questions, also let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to get back to you and answer your questions. I'm sure I've missed out on some bits and pieces here and there. If you like this video, do me a favor and click the like button. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps my videos to get out to a larger audience. If you want to see me make some more videos as well, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. L50, the Wuben L50, starting out in some of the lower modes, and I'm just gonna go straight to the highest there. And on that highest mode, I mean, look at that. It's easily reaching those trees at the back, tinting those trees at the back. It's easier to see in person. Nice smooth beam, really like it. You still get this decent amount of throw in the center of the beam. Doesn't seem to be ramping down, and it's managing the heat pretty well too. It's P9 emitter. Okay, there's lowest mode again. Okay, and back to the highest mode, and yeah, really not bad. Some noise up in the trees. Some possums up in the trees nearby. I'll go for a quick walk.